There's a little bit of sunlight right here. I don't know where that's coming in from. I literally fell asleep in my clothes last night. I passed out in my outfit from yesterday. I've been struggling with insomnia for the past few years, like pretty badly. I've been having a very hard time falling asleep, staying asleep, waking up in the middle of the night, and I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out why. And I still really don't know why, but the fact is, this is the second time this has happened to me since the breakup, where I'll just pass out in my clothes because I'm like that sleepy and that tired. And to me, that's a good thing. To me, that's a miraculous thing. That's why I wanted to share it. And it's something that like puzzles my mind, because how can it be so different now? How can it make such a huge difference in my body, what's happening in my life emotionally, or like psychologically, or I guess physically too. I'm kind of recording this post-breakup follow-up videos because one, I want to have a reminder for myself in the future to look back upon and see that I made the right decision for myself no matter the consequences. But also it's just fascinating what a difference it can make to not spend so much time in somebody's energy that maybe I wasn't a good energetic match to. Love knows no boundaries, right? Love knows it doesn't care about age, and I guess it doesn't really care about energetic compatibility either. It happens when it happens because it wants to. And I was totally okay with that. But ever since I got together with P, I kind of became aware that I wasn't sleeping as good. It was an issue. We would always joke around saying she was like caffeine and I was like melatonin, because I would put her to sleep effectively. Like when she would cuddle with me, she would feel sleepy and she would fall asleep. And whenever I was around her, I would feel energized and alert, but I couldn't sleep. So sleep became a real issue for me throughout this relationship. How we kind of worked around that is that we created separate sleeping arrangements. So when we didn't have 2 rooms, we would have 2 separate beds in the same room, but like separate, like one on one side of the room, one on the other side of the room, as much as we had space for. And that helped a little bit, just separating the energies. So I need like that energetic space to be able to like center myself, ground myself, I don't know, feel regulated. So that's why the separate beds thing was like the only feasible option for us, because I literally couldn't sleep with her in the same bed. It was driving me crazy, and I couldn't understand why this was happening, because everybody I know seems to have no problems sleeping in the same bed with somebody. Not me. I have a problem. I cannot fall asleep. It was like the biggest struggle when we were traveling, because obviously sometimes you can get 2 separate beds, sometimes you can't. And let's just say I was putting pillows in between. Like it was that serious. And still I had a hard time. So yeah, fast forward to now, passing out in my clothes. Who am I? What is this? Like, where am I? Am I in a different dimension? This is the kind of shit that would happen when I was a kid, I haven't fallen asleep in my clothes since I was a child, which just says to me that I feel safer now. My body, my nervous system, everything feels safer now than it did in the relationship. And it's nobody's fault. It's not that she was doing anything to make me feel like that. She was wonderful. Like, the relationship was as good as it could get. But I think there's just something about spending so much time in the presence of somebody whose energy makes you nervous or makes you too alert. We were just really different people when it comes to that. She has like a very wired, restless type of energy, and I have more of a calm, like grounded, let's take it easy kind of energy. And put those two together, it makes sense that I was putting her to sleep and she was making me super alert and kind of anxious. Yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. I wanted to share it. I don't know if anybody's going to relate to this. I feel like this is a sort of a weird experience that I'm having. But I'm fascinated that my body can tell the difference of because now we're not spending, time close to each other's energies so much. We're still friends, but I think it was the physical proximity, like I was saying, like when somebody's touching my aura. It was that was creating this I want to say like unease in my energy. And now I'm spending a lot more time in my own energy, which is, I guess, giving me that like melatonin type effect. Maybe I am melatonin. Maybe she is caffeine. Like maybe it is. Like it's literally the essence of what we are in this life. And honestly, I'm a bit relieved because I thought I would have insomnia for the rest of my life. I thought maybe it was because I was getting older and that's why I developed it. Because usually people will have sleep problems as they get older. I don't know, I hope this continues to be a trend in my life where I can actually just feel relaxed and sleep. It was a real issue. Maybe sometimes, like, as much as we want to be with somebody, as much as we want to commit to something because there is connection there, when it's just not the right fit, the body knows before the mind does. Like my body knew something wasn't quite the right fit before my mind or my emotions could pick up on it. And that just shows that there's a far greater wisdom of the body than we're giving it credit for. Like the body is its own system of intelligence, I feel like. We give so much credit to the mind. Like those things called gut instincts, or like when you feel a pain in your chest, like heartache, the body is speaking to us, Yeah, I mean, the body is smart. Man, what the hell? It's bittersweet. All of this is bittersweet. You know what I mean? But I think it was meant to be. Another thing that I've noticed is that lately, like within the past year or two, let's say, of our relationship, I was feeling really lonely in her presence. Like we would be physically, together, and I would feel incredibly lonely inside, and I couldn't understand why that was. And I noticed now that I feel less lonely when I'm alone, which is a weird contradiction. You wouldn't think that would be possible, but it is. It's weird. I feel far less lonely when I'm in my own company than I was feeling when we were like cuddling on the same couch. We weren't connecting emotionally anymore that much. Like we weren't connecting physically, obviously, but we weren't connecting emotionally either. When there's that lack of connection, like you feel lonely. The body feels lonely. The body knows before the mind does. The mind is questioning what's going on, why, this, that. The body knows. The body is like, it's lonely up in here. There's nothing happening. It's lonely. Yeah, I guess I'm learning a lot about myself post breakup, like in this transition period. It's really interesting to me though, the sleep thing. That's like the most physical manifestation of like, whoa. I don't understand how that's possible. I was literally taking melatonin pills sometimes because it was so bad, my insomnia. Like I would have to take supplements. I was taking these teas. Yeah, crazy. I don't know what else to say about that. It's just blowing my mind. So let me know, I guess, if you relate to this in any way. I feel like this is not going to be a very relatable video for some reason, but I just wanted to share it anyway in case somebody does relate. I think when a connection or relationship gets to the point where you're not giving each other anything anymore, like it feels stagnant, when the lack of it doesn't bother you that much, I think that's when it transitions into something else, or it's supposed to. And that's when we hold on to it because we have these definitions about relationships and commitment and loyalty and all of these things. Like when energetically, emotionally, when the spirit starts to let go of each other, that's what we start feeling. And we have two options. We can like force it to try and get back together, or try to make it something real again, or we can just ride that wave and see where it takes us, you know. We did both, honestly. We did both. We tried to make it work, and then we just kind of let it dissolve, and think it was the right call. Not to say it's painless, it's definitely not. But I think it was the right call. I think it was the right time and the right call. So, anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.